When you overfeed your fears, you starve your confidence. But the real question is, do you even know which one you're feeding? Right now, there are three things standing in your way, keeping you stuck, holding you back from taking action, and quietly destroying your confidence. They are hidden fears you may be unknowingly feeding, fears strong enough to run the show in your life. In this video, I'm going to break them down for you, but more importantly, I'll also show you how to break free from each one of them. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you will understand what's been holding you back and you will know how to be more confident. As always, the timestamps are in the description below, so let's jump straight into it.
It's not gonna work out. I'm totally gonna flop this.
That's the first fear blocking your way. Your outlook on the outcome. You know what's interesting? Most of the time when people say, I don't feel confident, it's not because they didn't prepare. It's not because they don't care. It's because deep down, they just don't believe the outcome will go in their favor. Let me give you a classic example. Imagine you have a presentation you've studied and prepared for and you're all set. But in your head, you keep replaying how your colleague got grilled with questions and scolded by the boss. Now, even though you're ready, you walk in expecting the same thing to happen to you. And guess what? You get overly nervous, you freeze, you stumble, you speak half as strong as you could. Again, it's not because you weren't ready. It's because you rehearsed the wrong outcome in your head. Psychologists call this rumination, playing the same negative thoughts over and over again until they dig a deep hole of doubt and fear. And eventually, you start believing it will happen to you too. Here's the danger. Your actions start to match your fears. You hesitate, you make a mistake, you underperform, and suddenly your fear creates the very result you dreaded. And that's what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, you know what's sad? Some people give in completely. They tell themselves, why would it be different for me? It won't work out anyway. And just like that, they stop showing up before they've even tried because their fear made the decision for them. So here's how you can shift this fear. Think of it like 3 quick moves: catch, control, replace. First, catch yourself. What movie am I playing in my head right now? If it's a horror reel of everything that could go wrong, stop it. Then, do a quick control check. Is this even in my hands? Could I control this? If yes, adjust and refine as needed. If no, stop feeding it. You don't owe your fear another meal. Finally, replace the movie. For every what if I fail, flip it to what if it works? What if I wow them? What if this turns out better than I thought? And don't just leave it as a question. Picture it. Visualize yourself showing up confidently and delivering well. Or recall a success you've had, because that memory is proof you can do it again. And remember, this doesn't replace preparation. It enhances it. You're adding the thoughts and emotions that fuel confidence so you can show up and own it. Now, before we move on, here's something to keep in mind. Failure is not the real enemy. Avoidance is. Failure teaches you something. Avoidance teaches you nothing. So at the end of the day, you either succeed or you cede, because every effort plants something for the future. And this brings us to the second fear quietly destroying your confidence.
What if they don't like me? What are they gonna say about me?
That right there is another fear holding you back. People's opinions. Think about it. How many times have you let someone's opinion stop you from doing something you wanted? Maybe someone said, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too different, or even, you're just not good enough. And you took that as your truth. But here is the real truth. Their opinion only counts if you let it. And if you're honest with yourself, it's their judgment you're scared of, not just the outcome. Part of this fear relates to what's known as the spotlight effect. You think everyone's watching you, judging you, sizing you up. So you hold back. But guess what? They're not. They're way too busy worrying about themselves. And even if they notice, what's the big deal? The validation loop we get trapped in is the big deal, right? We compare ourselves to others. We tie our worth to people's approval. We know it's not the way it should be, yet we still fall into that trap. And I know this kind of pressure is even heavier if you grew in a culture that's centered around community. So how do you break free from overrating people's opinions? Here are 3 reminders I always go back to. Number 1, they are not just commenting, they are projecting. You can't often means they couldn't. You're too much usually means they don't know how to handle someone like you. You're weird might as well just be them saying, this doesn't fit into what I am used to. The bottom line is, don't let their insecurities become your limits. The second reminder I tell myself is, stop taking everything personally. This one is a real game changer. When you teach yourself to hear their words as statements, not as judgments of who you are, you maintain control and you protect your confidence. I'll give you a common example from my own life. Before every annual performance appraisal at work, I always remind myself of this. This is not about me, it's about the job. This one line helps me switch from reacting emotionally to filtering feedback objectively. In this way, I prepare myself to receive their words as an input on a task, not an attack on me as a person. And trust me, the moment you decide to stop taking things personally is the moment you stop handing people the keys to your power. And just to be clear, this doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. Now, the third reminder I go back to is what I call the time and regret check. And it goes like this. If it won't matter a few months from now, then why am I giving it so much weight today? And if holding back will only leave me with regret a few months from now, then why am I letting fear stop me? Either way, the answer is the same. Do it anyway. Because here's the thing. Not everyone has to like you, and honestly, some people won't no matter what you do. And that's perfectly okay. At the end of the day, we are made to be different. Even the people we idolize, the ones who look like they have it all together, they're human too, and they're flawed. So before we move on to the next point, say this out loud with me. Confidence isn't, will they like me? Confidence is, I'll be fine even if they don't. And let this become your confidence mantra.
Who am I to do that? I don't have what it takes. I'm not ready yet.
If the first 2 fears were about the outcome and about people, this one is about you. It's about how you see your own abilities, your own skills and talents. It's about you not trusting that what you have is good enough. This fear often masks itself as humility or over-preparation, but it's really self-doubt. You tell yourself, I'm not there yet, and you keep holding yourself back, waiting for one more certification, one more year, one more sign. But all that waiting is just keeping you stuck. Let me ask you this. Who would you trust more? Someone with a stack of qualifications and degrees but no real-world practice? Or someone with just 1 degree who's applied it, tested it, and built results? Most of the time, you trust the one with practice. Even the job market makes this clear. Application is usually rewarded over accumulation. So ask yourself, if you were one of those two, which one are you acting like? This fear of not seeing your abilities as enough often shows up as imposter syndrome, where even high achievers or people with talent and experience doubt themselves despite clear evidence of their competence. But here's what most people miss. Imposter syndrome isn't proof you're unqualified. If anything, it's proof that you care, maybe even more than you need to. So how do you flip this fear and start trusting yourself more? Let me walk you through a 3-step shift. Recognize, use, and set your enough. Number 1, recognize how far you've come. Make it a habit to look back on your progress every once in a while. Your normal today was once your challenge. Just because something doesn't feel difficult anymore doesn't mean it was always easy. And it definitely doesn't mean it's not valuable. So give yourself the chance to appreciate your growth. Because if you keep dismissing it and devaluing the effort and time it took you to get here, then you are just putting yourself down. Think about it. The second step is to use what you have now. Stop waiting until you've mastered the skill before you put it to work. Don't keep improving just for the sake of improving. Confidence comes from practice, not from chasing perfection. And like I said earlier, apply, don't just accumulate. And remember this, a tool is only useful when it's used. Leave it in the drawer and it's just a tool at risk of becoming rusty and forgotten. Now the third step is to set your enough. Stop measuring yourself against a moving target. What do you even mean when you say, I'm not there yet, or it's not good enough? Enough for what and by whose standard? If your only measure is being on the same level or better than everyone else, then you'll never feel enough. So start redefining your measure because trust me, what you have right now is enough for whatever next step you need to take. Maybe it's smaller than you hoped, but it's a step that gets you moving instead of delaying. These were the 3 hidden fears keeping you stuck and quietly stripping your confidence. Fearing that the outcome won't go in your favor, fearing what other people think, and fearing that your abilities are not enough. And if you really want to make a change, it all boils down to one question. How much do you really want it? And you already know what that means for you. So ask yourself, how much do I really want it? Because if you really do, you will not let excuses stop you, and you will find a way. So the next time you hear yourself saying, it's not going to work out, hear me say, says who? Says you. And when you think, what if they don't like me? I'll come back with, so what? And when you whisper, I don't have what it takes, I'll remind you, oh no, you do. Stop starving your confidence and living on the breadcrumbs of your fears. If this video helped you, I appreciate you letting me know by liking, subscribing, and sharing. And if you leave me a comment, I'll sure be pleased to respond. And always remember, you've got this. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.